I get a lot of people that come into my office with plantar fasciitis, pain in the bottom of the foot and or around the heel. So first, let's discuss what's actually going on here. The anatomy of the structure, we have a fulcrum here. Imagine two kids on a seesaw. The fulcrum's in the middle, the piece of wood goes on each side, and kids are on either side. The fulcrum of the seesaw is the heel. We have a strapping band of connective leather-like tissue across the bottom of the foot, the plantar fascia. Fascia is connective tissue, plantar is the bottom of your foot. This little strip of skin or connective tissue goes across the bottom of the foot this way. And then we also have the other side of the seesaw, your Achilles tendon that goes into your calf, gastroc, soleus, all the muscles in your calf. So these two pieces work as pulleys, right? If you go to stretch your calf and you pull your toes back, you will feel increased tension because you're pulling more of that slack around and out of that system, effectively pulling that fulcrum further in one direction. So how do we alleviate this, right? When we have inflammation of this fascia down here or around the heel, it gets inflamed, it gets red, it gets sore, it gets swollen. Most doctors tell you, go ahead, get a bottle of water, a Poland Springs plastic bottle of some sort, freeze it, roll your foot around it. That is the worst thing you could possibly do. It will take the pain away because cold is an analgesic. However, it will create more inflammation and it will slow your body's natural response in healing those tissues that are damaged. So, do you think it's a good idea to create more inflammation in inflamed tissues as well as slow down the healing response of an injury? I don't think so. So what we're going to do, we're going to go with heat. Hot compress, a hot warm soak, Epsom salts, fantastic, great ideas. We always want compression, heat, elevation, and movement, not rice, but chem on any and all of our injuries. So, compression-wise, what do we do for compression? There's a couple different things we need to work on. One, rolling out the fascia on the bottom of the foot, and also creating more length and suppleness to the tendons in the back of the calf. So, for the bottom of the foot, very simple. You're going to take a lacrosse ball, you're going to put it on the floor, put your foot on top of it, and roll your foot back and forth on top of that ball. You can do it seated, putting your foot on the floor and rolling the foot around that way, or do it standing with the ball on the floor, standing on top of it. Make sure it's a firm ball. Lacrosse balls work the best. Tennis balls, too soft. They're going to squish and bend. Also, golf balls work very well as well. Golf ball has a little bit smaller surface area. It is a little more slippery than lacrosse ball, so it's going to slide a little bit. However, that smaller surface area is going to penetrate in between each of those tendons that goes down to each of those toes and allow you to get a little deeper pressure into those tissues, allowing them to stretch and become more flexible. Next thing we're going to do is also take the lacrosse ball again. We're going to put it on the back of the leg here, and we're going to roll out the entire area, looking for areas that seem to be a little more tender and achy. Remember, anytime we have tenderness in any of our tissues, that's a sign that those tissues are damaged. Healthy tissues don't hurt. You squish a baby's muscle, they don't cry, they have no trigger points. It's only us old, broken, achy things that actually have problems in our muscles, and we know that by touching them, they get responsive, they're called trigger points. So, with this ball, we want to roll down the entire surface area. You can put the foot up on a table as well, and roll it back and forth with the calf on top of the ball, back and forth this way. You can even use your own shin and grind it out that way, going back and forth. We call that the bone saw. When you use your own shin and rub one calf against the shin of the other one. Any of those things, when you're doing them right, you're going to go, oh, this doesn't feel good. But that's okay. It's going to allow the area to heal. Our sole goal here is to allow the tissues to have more space to move. When they have more slack in their tissues, they're going to have less tension on the area where they're being pulled too much, where the inflammation is, and allow there to be more space to move. It's also going to increase your blood flow and increase your lymphatic flow. So even though it doesn't feel great at the moment, it's going to be better for you in the long run. Ice doesn't feel great in the moment either. It typically hurts when you put ice on, but guess what? It may take the pain away, but it's going to stop you from healing, and it's going to stop you from reducing the inflammation, which is the cause of your discomfort to begin with. As soon as the cold goes away, the pain's going to come back, and it's going to be even worse because there's going to be more inflammation added to that. So remember, chem, not rice. We want to compress, heat, elevate, and move. We want to work on the bottom of that foot, allowing more slack by tacking and gliding those tissues around. We also want to work on the calf and the Achilles, stretching them out as well. So if you got plantar fasciitis, that is your recipe for it to go away. Stay patient, Keep it warm, moist, heated, compressed, and elevated, and get back to living your great life. Enjoy, folks.